Shalom. I'll give all honor, glory, and praises to YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, QADASH. Double honors to the elders, apostles, great wisdom, teaching with this truth and sincerity, citation to the hopeful, let that spread out the four corners of the earth. All right, so here, back with another word of the day. Today's word will be LowEstate. All right, so LowEstate, right? When you get into the word LowEstate, it goes back to a low condition. When you're in a low E state, you're in a low condition, right? This is why that when the Bible speaks about that the wicked, they go to hell, they burn in hell, that hell, they're referring to a low condition, right? They basically they are going through tribulation and torments, right? Which they're not actually burning. Christian tell you that they're burning like underground, right? That word hell goes back to the word it goes back to the word habayar, but hell, is just a low condition. It's just you're in a low E state, right? You're being tormented. You've been basically humble, right? So this is what 2/3 of our people are going to go through on this side, but they're tormented. And that tribulation is going to be being burnt by ice and biomes, right? There where you get that fiery from, by the missiles, by the chariots, right? Burning, you know, uh, you know, mainly in Babylon, America, right? But that's another lesson for another time. So low E state, it goes back to the Hebrew word ha dabyar, so humble. Because sometimes the word we actually have in English, sometimes it's not in Hebrew, so we just have to look for the closest Hebrew word to that English word. So low E state goes back to the word davyar, which means to bring, to make. Low E state degree, which goes back to the definition to bring. Low, to humble, right? Goes back to the word humble, right? To humble. Hob, hob, davyar. So when we are in this humble state of mind, um, you start to look at things different, right? You start to see, you start to um, you start to you start to it's like you start to um, trying to find the word that I will use. Basically, you start to examine yourself. That's the word. You start to examine yourself, um, and you examine yourself by seeing what did you do, or is you doing what you need to be doing? Is you praying? Are you fasting? Do you need to fast? Do you need to pray? What are you doing? Or what are you doing that have YAHAWASHI put you through, a low E state, right? And sometimes you are put in a low E state to humble you. Maybe to pride, or maybe you lose something, right, that you dearly love, or maybe you have something that when you are put in a low E state is to benefit you. That is if you are continue to walk, you are praying, you are fasting, you are constantly, you're um, you are persevering, right? Into this truth, right? So if if you are transformed to a low E state, a humble mind state, um, you know, then that can ultimately mean that can ultimately be a test for you. But I'm gonna bring out some few precepts, right? And I hope this will be edifying. So I'm gonna bring out Ecclesiasticus 2:11. First, you go to Throck. Two and one. First rock, 2 and 1. Throck chapter 2, verse 1 reads, My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Right, so that's simple, easy to understand. So you when you are doing this truth, when you are you know um, preaching, teaching, you gonna always have you know something messing with you, or you gonna always have you know you're gonna always be going through some sort of temptation, right? So you know you have to make sure that you have an upright spirit within you to endure, right? And you have to make sure that you have um, a spirit of spirit of a fighter, spirit a warrior to endure those temptations, right? To endure those heavy tribulations. Verse 2, set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. Right. So, when we are in that low E state, we are in that humble mind state, we can't be we can't be try to, you know, try to we can't be ready to, give up basically. So we have to set our mind right, our heart right, right? And we have to constantly endure. We whosoever should endure to the end, the same should be saved, right? Roughly paraphrasing. So we have to constantly endure. The diverse cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at the last end, right? So when we're in the humble mind state, just like Job, right? When Job was lost his callous, and Job was put in a low E state, in a humble mind state, at the end he got 100-fold what he already had, right? So we will be increased, right? On this side, we might not be increased on this side, but we will be increased in the kingdom of heaven, right? Um, right. So Proverbs, whosoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, be patient with that are changed to a low E state. So again, go back to where hob da yar, right? Hob da yar, right? So when we are in that combo, or you might be going through it right now. When you're in that, low E state, you have to be patient, you have to pray, and you have to endure. You know, Fifth verse, for gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable man in the furnace of adversity. Right. So as gold, gold fire make gold more harder, make gold more, make gold more firm, right? So how we are tried, right, and how we are tested in that fire is by going through adversity, by going through tribulation, by going through temptation, But you have to remember that YAHAWASHI would not, give you anything that you cannot bear. Where for paraphrasing, he will not give you anything that you cannot bear. So wherever you're going through, it's ultimately to strengthen you, right? Or even to make you examine yourself, right? To teach you a lesson, This life, this life we're living is all about, learning, 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 and learning, and being tested, right? Six verse, believe in him and he will help thee. Order thy way aright and trust in him. So we always have to call on the name of Yahawah, BAHASHAM, Yahawashi, right? You know, and we have to believe in that name, right? Right. And we have to, examine ourselves, and we have to do, the will of Yahweh. We have to have faith, right? That what we are doing, is being rewarded. 7 verse. Ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy, and go not aside lest ye fall. Right? So we have to wait for the mercy of Yahawah. And we can't be trying to downplay the name, or dumb down the name, or try to find another way to um we can't be trying to different Akim have coping, different ways they cope, right? But ultimately what it's going to, we can't try to be we can't try to be like, 2/3 of our people, right? We can't try to, put off, the armor, right? Go not outside and go not outside lest you fall, right? So, 8 verse, ye that fear the Lord, believe him, and your reward shall not fail, right? So we are ordered to believe, we are to fear the Lord first, right? Believe him, and your reward shall not fail, right? So again, that should be easy to understand. When believing in the Lord, and calling the true name of YAHAWASHI, we have to believe that a reward is coming. 9 verse, ye that fear the Lord, hope for good and for everlasting joy and mercy. Right? So, again, going back to, we have to have faith, right? 10 verse, look at the generation of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or when did he ever despise that call upon him? Right? So none of the prophets back then, were confounded. They, um, or was despised from Yahawah, right? They fear Yahawah because they know that the things that we're going to was ultimately to either test them, to see if they're going to have to test them ultimately, or to strengthen them, right? So that's and the prophets, the prophets um, back then, they went through those things to ultimately, for weaken, for us, right, and to teach us, right, what we about to enter is about to be a hell of tribulation, right, a hell of tormented, right, right. So 11 verse, for the Lord is full of compassion and mercy, long suffering, and very pitiful, and forgives the sins and saves in time of affliction. So that time of affliction is going to come when we are tempted with the MOTP, when we, maybe, that time of affliction, we will be saved out of that time of affliction by the chariots. I don't know how we're gonna be saved, but I know we're just gonna be saved, right? So, all right, I'm gonna get one more, then I'm gonna close out. Proverbs chapter 1, Proverbs chapter 17, verse 3. Is for silver and the furnace for gold, but the Lord tried the hearts. So how does the Lord try the hearts? By putting us through by putting us by putting us in a low state, right? In a humble mind state, right? So that's how the Lord tries the hearts, right? And you have to be in a repentant mind state. You have to be in a faithful mind state. You can't be prideful, right? So again, all right, so they're gonna be it for the right of the day, right? All right, I'll give all honor, glory, and praises to Yahawah Basham Shah, Basham QADASH. I hope this lesson was edifying. Till next time, I'll say Shalom.